Hello and welcome to my video series of steps to remission. I'm going to try and cover a lot in this video. One of the first things is mindset. You've really got to work on your mindset. Your mindset is one of the most important aspects there is getting your mindset right. Without having your mindset right, you're going to have a really hard time trying to rid yourself of Crps. I'm sorry, but it's just the way it is. A little bit about me, just to give you a bit of a background. I got Crps in 2006. Did RSI in my elbow, my right elbow, and it eventuated into 9 years of excruciating pain with complex regional pain syndrome, and it spread to my complete right side of my body, from my head to my toes, and it spread, and on days where it was really bad, really bad, I'd be like this. This is no exaggeration. This is how it would be, and I could hardly move. I could hardly walk. I could hardly do anything, and I was in excruciating pain. My whole face was like this, and yeah, it's just a bloody nightmare. To be honest with you, it's just a bloody nightmare. And that's the thing, is until you've actually experienced Crps, it's beyond belief. It is truly beyond belief. There's nothing out there on paper that comes near it. Nothing I've read, everything I've read, there's nothing that even comes close to the actual experience of Crps. So I just want to know that I really feel for you. I know what you're going through. I've been there. I've done it. I did it for 9 years. I know Crps like the back of my hand. Okay? I know all the different symptoms and things. I've been through them all. Okay? And so I'm just telling you, I really feel for you, you guys that have got Crps, and that's the main reason why I decided to do this video series, is so that I can help others see how I've done it, and then hopefully it might be able to help you, and then you can do the same. Is where I'm going, is what I'm trying to do. Okay? You've got doctors coming at you with telling you this. You've got specialists coming at you telling you this. You've got different people coming at you telling you this, telling you that. And they've got all this knowledge in the world, but they've got no actual experience with it. And there's a saying that knowledge is nothing, experience is everything. You can have all the knowledge in the world, but until you've actually been through it and you've experienced, you don't know shite. And I feel that a lot of people out there would agree with that one when it comes to Crps, because it's a total experience. It's experience beyond belief, is what it is. It is an experience beyond belief. Now, I know this can be really hard to grasp, but you've got to really decide what you want. What is it that you really want? And what are you willing to do to get it? Now, some people are motivated, and they'll just go, right, I can do this, I do that, and it's done, and they're all good, and that's great. I'm not one of those people, is what I'm saying. I'm not a motivated person. I've got to motivate myself constantly to try and get things done. It's just who I am, and I'm getting better at it, but it's just something I've got to do. Okay. Now, I know, but when you're in excruciating pain, it's really, really hard to focus on anything, let alone anything. Okay, it's really hard to focus on anything. So what I'm going to tell you is that everything I'm about to tell you is that you need to just take your time with it. You need to work through it slowly. Don't try and overdo it, or you will flare up straight away, and you'll just get, you've just got to slowly take your time through it. I'm going to give you a lot of information, and you've just got to work through it slowly. Okay? So the thing for me is that I had to get to the point of rock bottom. I had to get to the point of rock bottom. I hit rock bottom. I got to rock bottom, and once I got to rock bottom, I got to the point that I'm going to get rid of Crps. I'm going to get rid of Crps. I don't care what I have to do, but I'm going to get rid of Crps. I'm going to do whatever I have to do. I'm going to get rid of Crps. And this is the mindset you've got to have. Your whole priority has to be on getting rid of Crps. That's what you've got to do. It's the only way that I found to do it, is your whole priority has to be I am going to get rid of Crps, and everything, all your energy is focused on getting rid of Crps. Okay? Now, before you can do all these first things I've told you about, you've really got to do your own research on complex regional pain syndrome. You've got to get out there, you've got to reach out there, and you've got to look at all the different concepts and everything that's out there for you. Okay, you've got to spend the time. You've got to spend the time doing your own research. You're going to have people coming at you left, right, and centre telling you what to do. You've got to take it and you've got to look at it and go right, and then research it yourself and discover whether it's right or not. Because you're going to get a lot of crap told to you, and a lot of stuff that won't work for you, and other stuff that will. But you've got to work it out for yourself, because it is complex. It is a complex disease. There's so many different aspects to it. Yeah, so you've got to do you've got to do your own research. You've got to take your time. One good thing is forums or Facebook support groups are brilliant. They are brilliant. When I first got Crps back in 2006, there was nothing. There was nada. There was nothing in New Zealand. Absolutely nothing. There was no support groups, no nothing. There was nothing. My doctor gave me a little pamphlet, a little 2-page pamphlet that explained what Crps was. It was really helpful. Yep. You've got to do your own research. You've got to get out there and do your own research. Like I say, Facebook support groups are brilliant. You get on there and you meet people that have had Crps for a lot longer than you. These people know what you're going through. They're going through it too, and they'll support you. You know, the Crps support groups, they're there to support you. They know what you're going through. Everyone else around you has no freaking idea, but these people are going through it with you. You become very close to these people, because if there's something going wrong, you can get on there and you can say, oh, look, I've got this happening, and what's this about? What's going on here? And someone will go, right, yep, we've seen that before, you've got such and such. You need to go and see the doctor, and you need to get that sorted soon, because that's not right. We've seen that before. Or, yep, no, we all get that. That's just part of Crps. You just got to sort of learn to live with that one. You just different things, and there's a lot on those Facebook support groups. They're brilliant. And like I say, there was nothing around when I started, so you guys are super lucky. I had to wait 3 or 4 years before there was even a support group. You know, there's everything out there. You've just got to reach out to these people. There's a lot of people out there with big hearts that are willing to help you. You just got to reach out to them, and they will support you, because they know what you're going through. You know. So you take your time to do your research and get to understand Crps. Get to understand it. Get to understand all the ins and outs of it. Get to understand that it's a dysfunction in the central peripheral nervous systems. There's all sorts of other things. I'm not going to try and stand here and try and tell you all about it, because I'll just confuse you even more. You need to get out there and research it yourself. You need to suss out what you want to know and then research it. What you want to know and research it. And just keep doing it until you get to the point that you have like a construction in your mind of what Crps is to you. Not what it is for someone else, what it is to you. How you explain it, what works for you. Not what works for someone else, what works for you. You need to get that construction in your head of what it is. Your next task is you've got to stop fighting it. You've got to stop fighting the Crps. You have to accept that you have Crps. Okay? You have to accept that you have Crps. There's no way about it. You have Crps. You just got to accept that you have Crps. Because you can go on fighting it and fighting it and fighting it and fighting it and fighting it, and you go down, and then you get back up, and you've still got Crps. And you fight it, and you fight it, and you fight it, and you go down, and you get back up, and you still have Crps. You're constantly fighting it, fighting it, fighting it. You're not doing yourself any favours. You're trying to beat yourself. Basically, you're beating yourself up, trying to beat it. It's a pointless task. Stop doing it. Start to try to understand it. Start to try to understand what's going on. Start to figure out what's happening with it, how it works, different things. This is where that research comes in. You need to start to understand it. Fighting it is not going to get anywhere. All you're doing is going round and round and round in a vicious circle. And until you stop that circle, you're just going to go round and round and round, and your pain's going to go down, and you're going to need more medications, and it's just a vicious circle. Get out of that circle and just trying to start, accept you've got it, and start to try to understand it. Okay, the next thing is there's different stages, okay? You're going to go through different stages. It's just the way it is. You're going to go through a stage where you feel sorry for yourself, and that's okay to feel sorry for yourself. You need to accept that. There's going to be a time where you're going to feel sorry for yourself. You've just had this huge disease dropped on you. Huge disease that has changed all your life. It's flipped you. It's grabbed you. It's flipped you upside down. It's spun you around a few times and spat you out the side. You know? And you need time. You need time to mourn. You need time to mourn your loss. You know, you need time to mourn that loss of that life that you once had. You need time to mourn that. You know, for me, I'm 6'4". I'm a very physical person. I come from a farming background, and I had to come to the realization that there's just no way that I can do that anymore. Because if I try and do anything really hard and physical, I will just bring all my Crps back again. You know, it will just all come back again. I'm slowly building up my fitness and stuff, but it'll just all come back again. If I try to do anything really hard out and thing, I just bring myself back again. So I had to come to terms with that, and I had to deal with that. And now I've dealt with that, and now I can move on. And that's the thing, you've got to mourn. You've got to release all that emotion that you've got in here. That's just grabbing hold of you, and you just think, and you just got to let it out. You've got to scream and yell and let it out and get it out there and do whatever you need to do. Whether it's thing for me, I like to write, so I just write. That's why there's poems and stuff in my book Transformation, because those are the poems that help me release a lot of my emotional stuff that was in here that I was holding on to that I needed to get out. Other people, art, thing, whatever you've got to do, you know, music, art, any creative thing that can just help you release that emotion that you're holding on to so tight in here that needs to come out. Until you release that emotion, you can't move on. It's very hard to move on to that. There's many different ways I can show you how to do that, but I can't show you here. You have to get in contact with me, and I can show you how to release that emotions really easily. Okay? Okay, now your next is you need to start working out what your triggers are. Now you're looking at me going, triggers? What are triggers? Okay, a trigger is something that triggers your Crps. Simple one for an explanation is one of my first triggers I figured out was coffee. Okay, one of my first triggers was coffee. I had to get rid of coffee. Coffee had to go. Why? Because as soon as I'd have a cup of coffee, my pain would go straight up. Straight up every time I had a cup of coffee. And I thought it was just my Crps flaring up. But it wasn't. It was the coffee that was reacting with probably the medications and whatever else was going on my body, and it would just go. Okay? So you've got to work out what your triggers are. There's so many different triggers, but you've got to spend the time figuring those out for yourself. And it takes time. It takes a lot of time to figure them out. You get these different ones. I mean, there's temperature fluctuations, which is really bad with Crps. Temperature fluctuations is really bad with Crps. And the thing is, you'll feel cold, and you'll go, oh yeah, I'm feeling a bit cold. No, that'll come right soon. That'll come right soon. And you'll leave it, and you'll get colder and colder, and you think, oh Jesus, no, it's getting bad. And you'll leave it a bit longer, and you'll get colder and colder. And you're like, no, yep, right, I need to go and put on a shirt. But by the time you go and put on that shirt, it's too late. You've let that pain, you've let that cold get to a point that it's too far gone, and you're going into a big pain. You're going to a major flare-up, and you're going to be like that for the next 3 days until you come right again. Until you can probably come back to function again. You've got to try and keep that temperature as much as you can at a level par as much as you can. If you feel cold, go and put something on and bring that temperature back up. You know, you've got to try and keep that just to keep that thing, and it's going to make your life a lot easier. And then you're not going to be doing these spikes and valleys all the time, going up and down, and you're going to start getting a bit of a curve going, which is a lot easier to deal with. Okay. Now, I had to move from a cold climate. Okay, I had to move from a cold climate. In the winter, where I was living in Taupo, it gets that cold. It's fairly cold, and my pain would just go through the roof during winter. Cold just really affected my pain like you wouldn't believe. I would spend all day in winter by the fire reading a book, because that was all I could do. And it got to the point, right, well, it's got to change. So I had to move my whole life away, out of the air, out of Taupo, and move to the coast where it's a lot warmer. And that's what I mean. This is to put your Crps into remission is a whole lifestyle change. Since I've moved over here, the climate's a lot better. It's a lot warmer over here during winter. I don't have so much pain and stuff. I didn't have so much pain over the winter period, and it just made things a hell of a lot easier to deal with it, and gave me a chance to start working on other things to put my Crps into remission. You know, it's like you've got a timeline, okay? And on one side you've got Crps, and on the other side you've got remission, and you just got to keep working at it slowly towards it to get to that remission. It takes time. It takes a lot of time. And you just got to keep working out what your triggers are. Always working out what your triggers are. Can be anything. Foods, medications, sounds, anything. Just depends on what your sensitivities are with your Crps, and you need to figure out what they are. And then if it's helping with the Crps, sweet, keep it. If it's not helping with the Crps, it's got to go. You just got to keep working out what your triggers are. I can help you with this if you want. Gone through temperature fluctuations. You've got to watch everything that you're bringing into your body, basically. You've got to watch everything that you're bringing into your base body. Anything that's coming in your eyes, your nose, your mouth, ears, everything. The whole holistic system, you've got to watch what's going on, and you've got to be pretty much a detective, figuring out what's coming in, what's going out. Now, there's a lot of things you're watching online or on TV, the negative stuff. I mean, you're in pain 24/7. You're depressed. If you've been in pain 24/7 and you've been in it for a long time, you're depressed. There's no doubt about it. And if you're watching something negative, then all you're doing is you're amplifying what's already going on with you. So you got to look at things of how it makes you feel. If you're watching something and it makes you feel down or out, you're already down and out. You don't need any more of that. You need something that's going to bring you up. You need to bring that mindset back up to the positive. You're already down there. You need to bring it back up. So you need to look in those sort of things as well. Stress. Stress is one of the biggest things for Crps. It is one of the biggest things for Crps. You need to eliminate as much stress in your life as you can possibly do. You need to get rid of it as quickly and as fast as you can. Stress it's just stress is an instant flare up. Anything that stressed me out, instant flare up. Someone, you're arguing with someone, boom, that's a flare up. Someone turns up out of the blue and needs a hand, and you're like, oh, why don't you? I can't. Oh, I'm a bit sore, but I'll go and do it. And there's another flare up. You overdo it, there's another flare up. You know, there's so many different triggers that you've got to work through and try and figure them out. You know, there's so many of them. The biggest thing is you've got to concentrate on you. You've got to spend all the time, and all the concentration has to be on you. Everyone else has just got to let you do what you need to do to heal. You know, they've got to give you the space, and you've got to ask them for the space. You've got to concentrate on you to heal. It's the only way you can do it. Taking another pill isn't going to work because it didn't work last time, so taking another one is not going to work this time. All it's going to do is mask it. You've got to concentrate on you and start figuring out what's going on with you. It's a hard task, people. It is. It is a hard task, but it's what you've got to do to even begin to get to even get to the next step. You've got to do it. You've got to do it. You've got to understand what's going on, what's happening inside of you, what's causing what. You've got to focus on it. You've got to spend a lot of time doing it. And I really feel for you because I know I had to go through it, you know. And it was a hard task. I had to change a lot of things I didn't want to change. But, well, do you want the pain or do you want to make the change? Do you want the pain or do you want to, I want to make the change. I've had enough of the pain. I've had 9 years of the pain. I don't want to make the change. Anything to change. But now we can get on to some good stuff. You got to start looking at what you really like to do. What do you like to do? What can you do? And what do you really like to do? Okay. If you can't do it because it flares up your pain, well, then just do a little bit of it and have a break. Do a little bit of it and have a break. You got to keep doing these things. Okay. You got to keep working at them. Yeah. You just got to do the things that you really enjoy, things that get you right in the heart, and you say, yes, I love doing that. You got to do those. Watching funny movies, going to laughing, anything that makes you feel good, do more of it as much as possible. That is the stuff you need to increase up here. That needs to be up here. Less of the negative down, get rid of all the negative and bring the positive up here. That's the mindset. This is what I mean with the mindset. You've got to bring your mindset positively up here. When you bring your mindset positively up here and you're doing things you're enjoying, you're releasing endorphins and all sorts of chemicals into your body that are going to help you to self-heal. But you've got to keep that mindset in there positive. You've got to keep putting it back there. If you're feeling it going down, you've got to bring it back up and put it back up there. And there's ways I can show you how to do that too. So I've tried to cover some of the basics in this video. I do really feel for anyone that's going through this, and this is why I've produced this video, was to try and help people to get an idea of what it's going to take if you want to get your Crps into remission. It is a whole lifestyle change. It just is. There's no way around it. You've got to change. You've got to change whatever you've got to change to get where you want to get. And there's going to be some things you don't want to do, and there's going to be some things that are just, yep, sweet, done, gone, that's finished, yep, that's out of here. And there's going to things to think, but you've got to take your time at doing it. Don't rush at all these things I've explained to you. Don't rush in and try and do it all at once, because you'll just flare yourself up straight away and you'll be back to square one again. Just take your time, do a little bit each day, a little bit each day, a little bit each day, and you'll slowly work your way through. Now, if you want any more information, there'll be a few links at the bottom of this video where you can get in contact with me, and I'm more than willing to help you out. We can have a chat over Skype, we can chat over email or something, and I'll try and work with you, and we'll try and work some sort of plan and get this Crps back into remission. So this is the start of my video series. I hope that what I've given you gives you a bit of an insight on what it's going to take. I'm not here to try and tell you that my way is the only way. There's other ways out there that might work for you as well. All I'm trying to tell you is what has worked for me, what I have spent, 8-9 years working through to get where I am today. What has taken me a long time to learn, and now I'm offering you that knowledge so that you can help yourself, because I don't really see anything else out there like this. No, I haven't seen anything that comes close to what I will show you. So thank you. I hope you enjoyed my video. Please click like and subscribe. Thank you.